the time to prepare your beautiful smile? Are we ready?
We are.
I now call this Toastmaster meeting to order. Welcome, fellow Toastmaster and guests, to this Toastmaster meeting, and please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. George?
And I see Kathy's got one right there too.
Okay.
But here, let me do this. Share screen. Here we go. Even better, huh? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. The mission of our club is to provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in a greater self-confidence and personal growth. And finally, before we start, here are some Zoom guidelines. Please mute your microphone when a speaker has a virtual lectern. If you are the speaker, please have your video on so that we can see you. While you are muted and want to answer a quick question, hold down your space bar. It will go back to mute when let it go off it. Know where the chat button is, and if you see the highlighted, then there is a message either to you or the entire group. Click on it and open it. And I always add, just keep your beautiful smile and keep yourself present as much as possible because we are in camera. Now to the Toastmaster of the day. Thank you.
Thank you, fellow Toastmasters, and welcome to this Saturday. We are going to be having Edith, our club coach, with us today. Edith, please tell us what we will be doing today because I've apparently failed to get the message across to myself and the rest of us from last week's officer meeting.
So that might be for the officers, Kathy, not for the club to worry about it entirely in this meeting. But
Okay.
the officers meeting, we all had our little homework.
We all had our homework, and the homework might have not gotten done, but I apologize for the rest of us. I apologize. We have contests coming up, and I would like for everyone to be considering if they would like to be in the contest. We might be able to, depending on our club coaches and our area director, combine clubs with other contests. Sandy knows more about that, I think, than anyone else. Sandy, do you have a word on that for contests? The microphone didn't come with instructions.
Okay, it's the mouse.
Oh.
The contest this year online, which is a little different for us, but it's a great thing to do because you not only meet a lot of people, you get a lot of exposure and a lot of practice in front of other people that you don't know. So I would encourage anybody to try and compete, whether you feel you're not good enough or you feel you're really good, compete anyway, because it doesn't matter if you win or lose. You gain a lot.
Well, I wish I could. And we will be looking for volunteers, for judges, well, not only for contestants, but also for judges and people to help with the contests. And I see two visitors. Well, not exactly visitors. We have Victoria. Victoria, tell us where you're coming from. She's on her little vacation here.
I am coming from New Smyrna Beach, Florida right now.
Well, oh, that's great. You look, well, you said,
Yeah.
you told us you were taking the kids to the beach?
Yes, we're going to the beach with my husband and my son.
Okay, well, be sure and chat back with us here. Don't have too much fun without us. And Gina, hello. We've missed you. How have you been? Whoop,
Okay, I was muted. I'm not muted anymore. Can you hear me?
absolutely.
Hi, how are you? I got George's email yesterday and I thought I would pop in and say hello because I miss you guys, but I'm here, so hi.
Hi, Gina. Good
Thanks
to
for
see
having
you,
me.
Gina. Yes, yes. You look beautiful, Gina.
Thank you.
You
You
look
all
like
look beautiful too.
Thank
you
you.
look like you have more life in your eyes.
Well, I've been busy doing stuff with my schooling and everything, so I got a lot going on. So maybe it's all the, I don't know, just trying to keep moving forward, but thank you.
Oh, that's wonderful. Okay, I don't see any more guests. And so I believe that we are going to move along in our meeting. And so since I'm Toastmaster, I will put on my other Toastmaster hat. George, you look like I might have forgotten something. Nope, everything's good.
I
Oh.
forgot something. I got to get it ready.
I bet I know what that is too. Okay, and so today we have, our last week, we sort of did, well, not sort of, speak in present, we are deciding to have, instead of educational moments, in order to boost our club attendance and also for what you all need and or want out of our club, we're going to be doing an MOT moment instead of an educational moment. And that's a Moments of Truth. George Hazard will be giving us our Moments of Truth. And before that, we are going to be having our, I put out the agenda last night. So I'm going to, before we have our MOT or Moments of Truth moment, we are going to have our functionaries tell us what they will be doing. Our first one up is grammarian. Alicia, would you share with us what your role will be today?
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. Good morning, everyone. So yes, as my computer is so slow and I'm trying to pull my information up, my apologies. So thank you very much. So as the grammarian today, it is my responsibility to pay close attention to all speakers, listening carefully for language usage. I will be taking notes, possible misuses of the English language, but just as importantly, outstanding usage of words or phrases that are well delivered. Towards the end of the meeting, I will provide the grammarian's report. And thank you, back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
And, well, thank you. And Alicia, though, do you have a word of the day?
I did not, because in the past, when I've done grammarian, the word of the day was already presented. So I thought it was no longer part of the.
You're good. You're good. We're just sort of trying to switch things up a little bit, but that's okay. How about connections? We'll use that. Does that suit everybody?
If you guys like, I can find one, but I mean, in 2 minutes, I can probably find a word.
Well, if you like, our theme today, I did not put it in the agenda. However, our theme today will be connections, because we're trying to back up this and get more connections between all of us, what you all need, your needs as a person, an individual within a Toastmasters group or team. And so we'll do it for connections. And if you want another word, that's up to you entirely, or we can just stay with connections.
We'll stay with connections.
Okay, our word for the day is connections. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And now we will move to our timer. Martha Hazard will be our timer today. Martha, would you explain your role to us, please?
Thank you. As your timer today, my role is keep to track of the time for assigning speakers, table topic participants, and evaluators. The speeches today might vary. Those that are 5 to 7 minutes will receive the green card at 5 minutes, the yellow card at 6, and the red card at 7 minutes. For table topics, the qualifying time is 1 to 2 minutes. The green card will be displayed at 1 minute, the yellow card at 1.5, and the red card at 2 minutes. For evaluation, which are 2 to 3 minutes, the green card will be displayed at 2 minutes, the yellow card at 2.5, and the red card at 3 minutes. Thank you.
Thank you, Martha. And now for our, now, Alicia, will you be our counter also?
Sure.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. And for the last one will be our vote counter. And these agendas are going to be changed. These are just too difficult to keep track of. And who will be our vote counter? I will be if you want. Send everything to me. And that will be it now. And now we will move on to the next part. George, you always look like you have something to say. I think you do.
No. Well, I guess maybe now I do, because now it's, this is just a short segment on the moments of truth. So what I'm trying to do is refine our moments of truth and just break it out into smaller sections. So as you may recall, there were 6 sections before with 6 questions in each section. But now I've put it into a single poll with just 6 questions that we'll address today, and then look at those and give me any input or how we can refine this. Because not only I have connections with other clubs, and I want to try them out on the other clubs too. And this is a great way to develop a better moments of truth. We can just continually refine it and figure out what we can do to make things better for not only us, but other clubs too. So let me throw the first poll at you, or the only poll I'm going to throw out here today. And it's going to be this one, the first impressions. And first impressions, of course, is when people first come into the club. So let us launch the poll. And I'm particularly interested to see how it appears on your iPhone, Victoria, for instance. How does it appear on your iPhone versus somebody on a laptop? So let me know. Here's the poll. Go ahead and answer the 6 questions, if you will, and then we'll just chat for a moment afterward. Of course, this is an anonymous poll, so say what you want to say. Yes or no, or I don't know. Six out of 10 of us. Seven. 8. 8, 9. 2 more people. 2 more. Come on. Put your pencils down when you're done. Yeah. All right. We're right at the end of it. So I'm going to go ahead and end the polling because I don't want to take up too much time. So I'm going to end the polling and then I'll share the results. And now you can see, get a different kind of view of the questions. Now, Victoria, were you able to see those questions on your iPhone or your phone? Or is she still there? She can't hear me.
I did mine.
Okay, but how did they appear for you? Were they different?
The questions?
Yeah. Was it screen by screen or was it all of them where you just scroll down?
You answer the question and then you click next and it takes you to the next question.
Okay.
Yeah.
And for us, we scroll down. So I was wondering how yours would appear.
Oh, okay.
Because you couldn't see everything on a screen.
One individually.
Okay, so I'm going to save this poll, and maybe we can try it again in a few months, the same poll, and see if we've developed it any, if we get different responses to things. So let me quickly control Charlie, right? Okay, I am going to close that out for now. And I'm going to turn it back over to our Toastmaster because I hear you have a really good speaker today.
Okay. Our next up is our Toastmaster Minute, who is Sandy DePrimo. Sandy? DTM, I forgot to say. I apologize.
It's okay. Today I wanted to talk a little bit about ambassadors. I don't know if any of the newer members know what an ambassador is. Since coronavirus hit and we've been online, we've had the opportunity to go all the way around the world on Zoom. We go visit meetings, we go speak at meetings in other countries, in other places, in the same state, just different clubs than ours. With that, you submit a form that says you were there and it's signed by their VPE and you get credit towards the ambassador program. Now, when you're an ambassador and you visit 3 clubs, you get an award at the conference and you get an ambassador pin. And the person who has the most visits wins Ambassador of the Year. This year, the Ambassador of the Year had 73 visits. Busy woman. But you learn a lot when you visit these other clubs. You learn so much because not everybody's culture is the same. So I would encourage anybody to Zoom into another meeting. Here, there, across the world. I mean, George got us into a meeting in Japan and England, and people have been to Portugal and all. We're in 143 countries. The United States alone has over 2,000 clubs. So there are hundreds and hundreds and thousands of clubs out there we can pick from and choose from and go visit and make friends with those people. So it's all about connecting around the world, and which kind of ties in with our conference theme this year, which is Voices Around the World. So we want to encourage people to visit and make connections and make friends around the world, because that's what we need. We need more positive voices around the world. Thank you.
We really do have to step up and try to be going to these other clubs. You meet some of the most incredible people. Like Sandy was saying, our theme next year for the conference is voices around the world, and we want to be a part of that. Moving on to our next, we have a speaker today, George Hazard. Did George Hazard send me a introduction? He did. And so Kathy did, third person here. I did not see it. I am just now fresh onto my, just a moment, please. I am just now fresh onto my, I did not get it. How did you send it? Phone?
It's in the agenda.
Oh, I ran it off last night. Okay, I didn't get there soon enough. Well, then I am in error from now on. I personally will go in every morning to check the agenda before our meetings. I apologize. George has been with us, and how many other clubs are you a member of, George?
2 others, so 3 total.
3 total, and he has been every role that you can imagine. He's been speaker, he's been in contests. Is that not correct?
Yeah.
So he's going to be in our next contest. Is that not correct? Oh, I bet we can. I bet we can. We'll see. We'll see. But I would like to welcome to the virtual lectern our own George Hazard for his speech. The title.
Social media, one possibility. And it's 5 to 7.
Thank you, George. I will not make that mistake again.
Well, folks, do you think that we should try to grow the number of people in our club? Well, to quote Jim Rohn, of course. There's an old adage that says that, how's it go? That if you're not growing, you're dying. Well, I don't know if you remember the old Toastmaster days, which weren't that long ago. We used to do open houses, and then we would have, we would put up posters in the local coffee shops, and then we would even put our club information on the bottom of our Toastmaster magazines and leave them in our doctor's and dentist's office. But times have really changed. Now we reach out through social media. Things like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, TikTok, my favorite, and even perhaps Pinterest. But I do have connections because I'm in other clubs, and one of those is out in Colorado, or in Wyoming, part of the Colorado district. And I had the privilege of sitting in on a Toastmaster Leadership Institute training out there. It was really for the VP of PR. But in that training, this lady shared with us what she did to grow her club. I mean, she grew up to, or she used Instagram, for instance, and she grew the club to, on Instagram, over 1,000 followers on Instagram. But also, they had a pre-pandemic open house, a pre-pandemic open house, and they had 80 people show up at the open house. And right now, their club is a robust club with 25 very active members. So it made me wonder, well, what can we do? Can we use Pinterest? And if we use Pinterest, what in the world do we put on there? And as I was pondering these things, it occurred to me to go look on Instagram and see what other Toastmasters were doing. And there's all sorts of things that we could be doing to grow our club. And I would like to share some of those with you. So let me pull up my screen. For instance, as you can see this one right here, its simple idea is to just advertise the club meetings. And I don't know, can you see my mouse? See right up here, it says Fresh Beginnings. There's their club theme. Let me show you another. Here's another one, just advertising the club. And you can see the theme of the day again is announced right there. And I do want to point out that this is a Saturday club. All right, now look, here you can use the word of the day. And I found numerous clubs that are using the word of the day, and they're posting that up on Instagram. Oh, I like this one. This is where they get a new member. And so they post up congratulations to the new member. Encouragement is what I'm saying. Here's yet one more, where they even say a little bit about the new member and welcome them to the club. Great ideas. And Sandy, this one's for you. Anytime somebody completes a level, we could post a congratulations to them for completing that level. It's, people like, let me tell you a side story. I used to have a boss, you know, I was in sales. I used to have a boss, and every month he would bring me into his office and give me my commission check and shake my hand and say, thank you. Then I went to a different job later on where I got a commission check, and my boss just texted me the amount of my commission check, what it would be. And what a big difference. People like to be congratulated. And so this is one way to do it. Ah, look here, the winner of the best speaker or the best table topic, in this case, the best evaluator. And here's another one where they had the best speaker, best table topic as evaluator, and a couple other roles that they do the best of. These are great ideas. Things that we could post up there to encourage people to come to our meetings. Look at this one. Somebody gives their icebreaker, and we can give congratulations to them as they finish their icebreaker. So not only levels, but icebreakers too. Oh, what about this one? This is the best. Our smiling faces from our meetings. So that way we encourage people to say, hey, they look like friendly folks. I think I'll go visit them. And we are a friendly club. So we could have our own pictures up there too from our club meetings. Edwin, if you were here, I would point out that we could promote your speakathon here also. And, you know, our club always is supposed to have table topics every 5th Saturday. We could easily advertise that here on Instagram for doing that. And twice a year we have an open house. And here's a chance to do that too. Moments of truth. These are all different things that we can do to keep the word out there, to keep us fresh in everyone's mind. And here's one. When we get our DCP goal is the Distinguished Club Program, for those of you that don't know. But here's a way that we could do that too. A joint meeting between clubs. And I would like to point out that this is a Saturday meeting also. There's something to be said about people who meet on Saturdays. Let's see. And I believe this is a TLI kind of meeting. And we can promote the area directors. And that's kind of what we see here, as well as the trio. And then when things come down from TI itself, then we can post that up here. And of course, they always have good looking material too. If we're having a special speaker that's going to give a special talk, we could have that. And always, we should have the reasons for being a Toastmaster. And as you see it here, another one, another example. So why am I talking about all this? Because I'm the VP of membership. Oscar's the VP of public relations, but we can't do it alone. We need your input. And with your input, we can grow Instagram, we can grow our club, and we can really help people become better leaders and communicators. Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, George. It's definitely going to be necessary for us if we want to get the word out that we are a lot more practical than spending $10,000 for sending one employee off to a big conference or seminar for the week. Think how much money they save. hotel, the food, oh, and well, whatever kind of other entertainment they might have. I was speaking directly with another individual from Toastmasters, and she was, remember when we have one of the levels on the 5th level that we do is an HPL project. And those are, HPL, what is, it just went blank.
High Performance Leadership Project.
See, thank you very much. And we all go through that. We will all be eventually doing one of those. And we have to acknowledge our roles here. We have to celebrate our steps, our further stepping stones, and how far advanced we go. And that's why we're Toastmasters, leadership and communication, teaching me especially how to be more articulate and not to lose those words all the time. The next, if you would please take a moment, put 1 minute on the clock, Martha. I don't see you. And everybody send it to George what you think or how you think we could help him along in the social media. We really need to do this.
If I may interject,
yes.
I did set up a Hunters Creek Toastmasters Instagram account. So if you're on Instagram, follow us, okay? That way we can see your picture.
We start following all Toastmasters if you can. Just go into Instagram, and if you have another club and they're not on there, get them on there and let's start following each other. We have 344,000 members across the world. That's only 4% of our 8 billion population. And we want to be having our growth as Toastmasters. And so getting the word out how incredibly wonderful and the team players that we are. Get us on social media, please. That goes for Facebook too. We're gonna have to do one for Facebook.
1 minute.
Thank you. And next, George, I believe you're going to be able to set this up. Next, what we're going to do is a little bit different, but we thought we would play the video of the winning speaker of the 2020 International Conference, play his speech. And George is setting that up right now, I believe. And no problems. And then what we're going to do afterwards is a round robin evaluating him. What did you see? What did you hear? What did you feel? And so this is going to be an interesting situation because it is really quite good. And I can only say that he won out of, I believe it was 4 other people that he won this speech. And okay. I thought it was really good. I happened to catch one where he was actually being evaluated. A gentleman was actually starting and stopping and talking in between of how this was a winning speech. What did he do specifically to make that winning speech? Out of all of the members doing international or doing the contest, out of all the world, this gentleman won with this contest. George Hazard will.
Mike Carr, the librarian, and Mrs. Montgomery. The librarian and Mrs. Montgomery, Mike Carr.
I was spellbound as I watched the sheriff who had just been shot slide back open that heavy metal door, stagger forward a couple of steps, look deep into the camera and say, I before E except after C. Contest chair, fellow Toastmasters, I was in the 6th grade in Mrs. Montgomery's class watching an educational video where a sheriff was teaching us about writing while a bad guy named Bad English was shooting at him. It was on a film projector because we were technology challenged in my school. And as I watched that film, all of a sudden something started looking strange. The film slowed down, and when it picked back up, it made a sound like and it looked like it was blinking. Then the sheriff was talking to us from the side of the screen. The blinking started again with a loud noise. Ooh, everything went blank. I ran to the front and I turned off the projector. I opened it up. Something smelled like it was burning. Mrs. Montgomery, I said, can I try to fix this? After school, she said. An hour after the final bell rang, I had disassembled the entire projector all over the floor. I was beginning to put it back together when the librarian came strolling through. What are you doing? She almost screamed at me. Who told you you could do this? I did, said Mrs. Montgomery. The librarian, though, zeroed in on me. This is school property, and it better work when you get it all back together again. If it doesn't work, your parents are going to have to pay for that. Now, my parents did not have a lot of money. If I went home and told them they had to replace a projector at school, I would have been better off in the hands of that bad guy, Bad English. And so, with focused energy, I started putting the projector back together. After 2 hours, it was whole. And Mrs. Montgomery said, let's try it. I reached up and I flipped the on switch. And there, out in front of us, projected onto the screen in all of its glory, was nothing. Nothing. The projector was dead. Mrs. Montgomery put her arm around me and she said, it's okay that you took the risk to try to fix it. The victory is not in the result. The victory is in the try. But I still had to tell my parents. When I got home, I snuck in and I thought, if I just hide in my closet, they'll forget I exist. But then I heard from the kitchen, Mike, come in. I walked in and I said, Mom, Dad, there's something I have to tell you. I love you. And I am scared of sheriffs. I don't know. I ran to my room. I choked. I couldn't think of anything to say. I thought, I'll tell them tomorrow. I crawled on my bed and I looked up at the ceiling and I thought, how do I get to Norway? Now, I know there are people from Norway in the audience. And can I just tell you, I don't know why Norway was my only safe haven on this planet at that point. Maybe I thought that Norway had made a deal with the UN that they would not let crazy librarians come into their country. But at that night, I drifted off to a very restless sleep, dreaming of swimming to Norway. I was awakened with a jolt when my alarm went off the next morning. As I got ready for the day, I was sick to my stomach. When I got to school, I knew my time was up. I slunk to the library to find Mrs. Landon sitting there reading her newspaper. She was drinking out of this coffee mug. That's concerning. I approached her and I told her the final fate of her projector. She slowly started looking up at me. Her lips started curling. Then she leaned forward and said, fine. What just happened? I'm still alive. I could not believe it. My failure had not killed me. And yours will not kill you. What was it that Mrs. Montgomery said? The victory is not in the result. The victory is in the try. Ever since then, I have walked through life with a little librarian Landon sitting on this shoulder and a Mrs. Montgomery sitting on this shoulder. When I tried and gave my very first speech, which was a train wreck, Mrs. Landon told me, you should never try that again. But Mrs. Montgomery reminded me that the failure had taught me lessons that could be a springboard to future success. And she was right. But her words ring even more true for you. And let me tell you why I know this. For years, Toastmasters has been the place where leaders are made. You are here in some way to increase your leadership skill. And this world desperately needs leaders who will create fertile soil for innovation to grow. Toastmasters is a great example. When COVID hit this year, they could have said, no, we're just going to cancel the contest, we'll cancel the convention, and we'll pick it up again next year. But instead, they decided to try something new, this virtual experience. And yes, there have been glitches, but that's what innovation is like. Glitches happen. And the lessons that they have learned take us miles beyond those organizations that just canceled. If you want to lead people to fix persistent problems, someday, somewhere, somebody is going to have to try something new. And you as the leader have the opportunity to encourage that effort that might fail, for a chance to find the future. The victory is in the try. Be a Montgomery leader. Encourage risk. Try new things. The victory is not in the result, my friends. The victory is in the try. Contest chair.
So I hope you all enjoyed that. This is what we are going to aspire to. And having one of us enter into the international contest so we can all sit here and watch you guys have so much fun in Paris. I would like to give a 1 minute. Put your thoughts together of how you would like to evaluate. Yes, Martha, 1 minute, please. Put your thoughts together of how you would like to evaluate that individual. Because obviously we can't send little love notes to him, but there you go.
One minute.
Thank you, Martha. Now we are up for our table topics. Sandy DePrimo will be giving table topics today. And do I have an introduction from you, Sandy?
No.
No, but we all know who Sandy DePrimo is. She is our newest member in the DTM club.
No.
Well,
Yeah.
you are, right?
Yep.
Yep. So I would like for everyone to put your hands together and welcome to the virtual lectern, Sandy DePrimo, our newest and our proudest DTM. Sandy?
Yay! I need a volunteer. Oscar Karlstad. I need to ask you, if you were required by Toastmasters International to visit clubs in 3 countries, which countries would you choose and why?
Oh, well, thank you, distinguished Toastmaster Sandy, for that tremendous question. That's like, you know, having all your most delicious food out on a smorgasbord and you don't know where to start. I'm like, wow, I just can't imagine. I think, you know, we've had so much fun with getting overseas, but I'd love to go and join a Japanese club. Unfortunately, I missed that meeting, but I know George had a connection, and that gets me all excited. I just love the way they had challenges with people like Jana Banana, but you know, that just makes it fun. I mean, it's a smorgasbord. I would never stop. You know, we know Deepak Menon and we think, oh boy, we should go visit his club in India. That would be fun. And then we had the opportunity to visit in Shanghai, sort of get connected with that group, and they talked about their experience of Wuhan virus. So it's like a smorgasbord with unlimited possibilities. I want to go everywhere, and I want you all to come with me. So thank you for that question.
You're welcome. Victim number 2. Who shall it be? Anybody want to volunteer? I say Pilar, because she's just smirking over there like, I'm not going to say yes. Pilar, if you had to share something from another country that you lived in, what would you share from what country?
Thank you, Sandy. That is a great question. Well, I've been in 3 different countries, visiting Argentina, Brazil, and also I went to Spain. But what I will share from those countries has been my most profound experience and the most, I remember all the time, is from Brazil. The difference between all those countries is Brazil, people have this particular way to welcome you. Everywhere you go, everybody you meet, they have this happiness, this open heart, this open smile. They meet you for the first time and you feel like they've been knowing forever. And that is the difference between other countries. Argentina is kind of more, sad. They are more, I don't know, they are always feeling like in the past. In Spain, yeah, it's really multicultural over there, but Brazil touched me because of that characteristic. Open heart, smile, welcoming, and they always sing and dance everywhere. I remember one day I visited a friend, she opened the door and she just started dancing. It's, like when you go here and you hug somebody, they dance and then they hug you. And that is marvelous. I wish everywhere we're like that. Brazil has been my favorite country to share with everybody. Just be open. Just be happy. Thank you, Sandy.
You're welcome. Thank you. George, we get to go to Zoom to these other countries, and we only get to use one sense, really 2 senses, hearing and sight, right? Mm-hmm. If Zoom had the feature of smell or taste, what would you choose?
Smell or taste? Well, actually, both would be good. And let me tell you why. Smell or taste. Imagine, well, it depends on what you're smelling and what you're tasting. But,
yeah, true.
But can you imagine going to a cooking Zoom Toastmaster Club, where they practice speaking in public and at the same time show you how to cook different things. Can you imagine? Once they prepare their I don't know how to make up a fancy one, but their steak that just came, is still sizzling hot, and then you cut that off and you get to taste that. Oh my goodness gracious. Whew. Do you think they can do that for us? Same thing with smell. Let's say we get to go to, well, let's zoom over to Hawaii and smell that fresh sea air just washing it off the shore as we get to watch the blue, crystal blue waters out there. Those are enticing, although right now, not reality. So I guess we'll have to forgo and just have to listen and hear. Thank you.
Alicia,
yes,
if we had the ability to taste through Zoom, what would you name the Weight Watchers Club that you would open? Because everybody would blow up if they could taste everything around the world.
That's an excellent one. Requires such critical thinking. What would I name them? Weight Watchers. Wait, don't watch. Because we would just have such open access. I'm not sure. But at that point, I'm not sure if our concern would be how much weight we're gaining. Are we gaining?
Shrinking the world? I don't know.
Yes. Yeah. That does require some critical thinking. I'm not sure if I'm there, but that's an excellent question, Sandy. Thank you. Back to you.
Do I have time for any more?
Yes.
Victoria, since you're headed to the beach, what beach around the world would you like to visit? What country?
I would like to go to Spain. I would like to go to Ibiza. Always wanted to go there, but never been to Spain. And my husband and I, when we were looking for a place to retire, my husband, he likes ocean and I like mountains. So we looked at the map of the world and found that we really agreed on Spain. And my husband, he doesn't speak any Spanish. I don't speak any Spanish. So I'm not sure about retiring in Spain, but just going on vacation would be nice.
Bob. Bob, if you traveled through Zoom around the world to a country you didn't know the language, what language would you want to learn in order to do that? I know you speak a couple of them.
That's actually an excellent question. I would love to learn many languages. It's just that the language I learned so far, I learned them by accident. It's if you grab any Algerian and you ask him the question, how many languages you speak, he will tell you we speak two, because it's a kind of a standard. But I would love to learn Spanish. It's because I love the culture, and I love also the kind of the diversity. Because when we talk about Spanish, we don't refer to one country. We refer to a continent. You have a variety of cultures, traditions. So I'd like to go and go to Peru, to Mexico, because they have good a lot of history. So if you just like zoom into, for example, Mexico, you mentioned Maya and Aztecs. That's kind of very old civilizations that, and we keep learning from them because every day they kind of uncover things, and we were like, wow, they were really advanced. So I would really love to learn Spanish so I could visit those countries.
Awesome. Thank you. And we have Miss Gina. Gina.
I know it's only a matter of time. It's okay.
So, hold on one second. If you had to go to school in another country, because I know you're getting your master's degree, and if you had to study in another country, what country would you go to if they told you to choose?
Oh, I would go to Italy, hands down. I would go to Italy. You know, it's been on my bucket list for a long time. I actually did go a couple years ago with my roommate from college, and I've done my genealogy research, and my family actually hails from southern Italy, so I need to go back sometime because I'm just fascinated with where my family came from. And I only had a very small piece of information when I started my genealogy research. So I've actually been able to hone it in down to the town where my great grandparents got married, which was very cool. So while I would be going to school in Italy, I would be traveling around the country so that I could go find the town of San Lorenzana to find where they were married. And I would just enjoy the culture. I would take it in. I would eat the pasta and I would drink the wine. And I wouldn't be on my phone too much because I have to say, when I went to the Leaning Tower of Pisa, it made me very sad because nobody was really just standing there looking at the Leaning Tower of Pisa. They were all on their phones taking pictures of the Leaning Tower of Pisa, which, I mean, I have my picture in front of it as well. But I just want to go sit and absorb the Italianness of the country. So that's my answer. I didn't even have to think about it. Italy. Thank you.
Arrivederci. Do I have time for any more or no?
No, I think we should start rolling on. Is that good, George?
I think we left out Ankit.
Oh, Ankit. Oh my goodness, my apologies. Sandy always has a question for Ankit.
Ankit, if you had to pick a place that you wanted to teach your son about, where would you go?
If I had to pick a place that I'd want to teach my son about, maybe I'd pick Iceland. That was a country I visited a couple of years ago, and it's kind of away from Europe, so it's one of the countries that I didn't think much about at first, but it's interesting, the culture that they have there. They have massive glaciers there, and it's different with it being so remote from Europe and the US, kind of in the middle of the Atlantic. So I think it'd be interesting to see how people live there. I only stayed there for about 2 weeks when I was there, but I feel a place like that, that's kind of,
that's different,
away from areas or continents where there's a lot of countries. That'd be interesting.
Yep.
Thanks, Andy.
You're welcome. You know, Iceland is one of the few countries we don't have any Toastmasters clubs in.
Oh.
We don't have one in Iran. We don't have one in the Congo. And we don't have any, where's the other one? In Iceland or Greenland. I thought that was interesting, but you know, they're so isolated and small population. Russia has only 1 to 10 clubs in the country. And that's a huge country. So, yeah, we're in everything else. I have maps. But yeah, it's interesting how the United States, of course, it's a United States country, so we have the most. But when you start going through Canada, they have a lot. But when you get into Africa, all those little countries have a lot of clubs. So that was interesting to me. See it on a map.
So maybe, Sandy, while Ankit is teaching his son in Iceland, he can open up the Toastmasters.
Yes.
While he's here.
Of course.
Yes, Alicia. Can we have a timers report for all of our table topic masters? Where's Martha? There she is.
Table topics. Oscar, 1 minute 21 seconds. Pilar, 1 minute 49 seconds. George, 1 minute 24 seconds. Alicia, 44 seconds. Victoria, 44 seconds. Bob, 1 minute 32 seconds. Gina, 1 minute 34 seconds. Ankit, 1 minute.
Wow.
Excellent. Excellent. And how was the timing for George Hazard, Martha Hazard?
George, 7 minutes 31 seconds.
No.
I guess Mike Carr wins.
Mike wins. Okay. And do you put the poll up for the best table topics, George?
No, what you can do is just ask everyone to email or chat to you privately who their vote is for the best.
Would you please, to me, all the votes for best table topics, please. Except now, Victoria and Alicia being 44 seconds, that's the 30 seconds underneath, they don't qualify, is that correct?
In other clubs, and this one, I think it's acceptable.
Okay, this time we will, okay?
We should follow the rules.
I really do agree with that. I really do. This is why we're a club. This is why we're going to
This is how we grow. We follow the rules.
That's it. Thank you, Alicia. Thank you. Look at those fingers. Look at Pilar's
I'm
fingers.
just thinking those big fingers.
It's like the giant coming in.
Okay.
Are we good? We have our 1 minute? Okay. Okay, now we have successfully voted for our table topics and best speaker. I am now going to hand this over to Pilar. Pilar will be our general evaluator for the day. Sorry, my brain. Pilar, tell me, Milliland, is that how I say your last name?
That is correct, Melilan.
Melilan.
Yeah.
Okay, I will learn how to speak Spanish, correct?
All right. Yes, I can.
Okay,
I
so
can show
then-
you that.
Great, great, great. So I will turn our meeting over to Pilar as general evaluator.
Thank you,
Pilar?
Kathy. And as a general evaluator, the first thing I'm going to do is to introduce the first evaluator for George. And I see here on the agenda that is Oscar.
Yeah. Hi, everybody. Thank you for letting me be the evaluator for George. I feel very honored that I got this particular evaluation because George and I have talked about this subject several times. I think we are in the baby phase of making it happen, but I get so excited inside when he talks about this and the possibilities that could happen for our club and all of our clubs. So you took us back in time and you told us about how you dropped off flyers at doctors' offices and other places and dentists. But now you've got TikTok and Pinterest and Instagram and all these other resources and how to use them. Now, I don't know how to use them. I'm completely in the dark. So I feel that if we could figure this out, it could bring in a lot of people. And I think it could make a huge difference in people's lives. I also love that you talked about other possibilities of posting accomplishments as far as completing your icebreaker and all these speakathons, DCP program, joint meetings. There are so many ideas in there. It just gets me like, wow. And I just think you had a wonderful thing, a lot of enthusiasm, and I just see tremendous possibility out of your speech. You also, talked about joint meetings. Oh, and all the connections, using the word of the day, we could make connections around the world, connections with other clubs. And I just see so much possibility. Now, where I see opportunity in a presentation is like this is to get clear on your objective, and your objective being to change and get people excited and participate in this. So I'm thinking that there could be more interaction with the members, ask questions, have them bring back ideas, see if there are other ideas you never even thought of, get people committed to participating in this right away, even though it's a 5 to 7, or to meet at a different time, to open up possibility, and always to share stories. But the main thing is why? Why are we doing this? To change people's lives for the better. And if you get that message and you get people enthused and realize a story about how it changed somebody's life will get people grabbing hold of this idea, passionate about it, and moving forward. I think that's very critical to sell that, to sell why are we doing this. Because the joy of giving, the joy of changing, the joy of helping somebody else is unbelievable. And that needs to come in there, why, and then enroll, then ask, then get commitment and move forward. So great speech, loved it. Get excited. I want to play, George. Let's get going, okay? Thank you, George.
Thank you, Oscar. Kathy, now for the second part, the second speech that we say that we're going to see how we hear, what we feel when we see, how we're going to do that evaluation. Kathy?
This is going to be, thank you, Pilar. This is going to be a round robin. Every single one of us, Pilar, use your screen and you will just go around. Everyone will have 1 minute. Martha will time us each for 1 minute. And you will say what you saw, what you felt, or what you heard from Mike Carr. So this is like, I mean, obviously he won the international speech, but apparently there's always that one little thing that you can find to help him do better, which would be really great if we could send it to him. I think that would be really cool. But anyway, yes, Pilar, it's going to be a round robin. Go from your screen however you want to do it. Everyone is 1 minute, and you will give your opinion on what you think or how you think Mr. Carr could have done better.
Okay, thank you, Kathy. I don't have access to the screen to see everybody, but I see the names, and I'm going to start with George. George?
Okay, just a sec. You think I'm a fault finder? Heck no, I'm a good finder. That was a terrific speech. But one thing that occurred to me, he does a very good job of talking to the camera, but you know what, with his eyes. But he also did a very good job of talking without looking at the camera, where he would be like this, or he's drifting off, and you know, where he was talking, and then he wakes up. His eyes carried a message without looking at us, and that is a different concept I had not seen before or felt before. So I thought it was very, very good. But his whole story, he followed the rule. Tell a story, make a point. And we saw that today, where he told his whole story about the librarian and Mrs. Montgomery. But then he drove home the point right at the end. I thought that was awesome. What faults? I don't know.
Thank you, George. And I'm going to ask Sandy.
Oh, God. I'm with George. I thought it was an excellent speech, and I thought the way he drove the point home was great, and the way he used the camera was great. Just one little tiny thing jumped out at me. When he said the projector fell to the floor, he didn't go, he didn't make us go to the floor with him to see all those pieces on the floor. And that's what I missed. I'm thinking, you hear this crash. And that was the only thing I could pick out. Otherwise, his facial expressions were awesome. And the use of the camera and the way he came in from the side and really showed us, you know, where he is on the stage. Other than that, I don't have anything else.
Thank you, Sandy. I will ask Oscar.
Oh, thank you for letting me play. Yeah, I was most in love with the beginning part, talking about those old cameras. I used to love them in the 70s, and the way it burned and the screen, and I brought back so many memories because I burned so many films. The way he was able to make it flutter and all of that, it was really great. I'm wondering if there was a way to have that camera in the background, or a picture of it as a possibility, because a lot of people don't know what those things are and how big they were and all the parts that they are encompass. So give them an idea about that may have enhanced the speech. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Oscar. Gina, will you give us an insight of the speech?
Sure. I had a very hard time finding faults. I guess I was just looking at the positive, but again, at the beginning when he pulled over the door and the sheriff being the bad guy was bad English, I liked a lot of his vernacular that he used. I thought that was a great analogy, that bad English was the bad guy. And to Oscar's point, when he started mimicking the film projectors from the 70s, how it would slow down and then it would speed up, and the way he did it with his finger. So I was like back in 4th grade looking at a projector on I could see exactly what he was doing. And I thought that for people in the audience around my age, they would totally get that, and it would be quite nostalgic, but it really drove the point home that he was making as well. The victory is not in the result, the victory is in the try. That will stay with me. That was such a poignant use of just the way that he used his words, and it was such an amazing message. You know, he also said that, you know, Toastmasters is for leaders to create fertile soil for innovation to grow. And, you know, that's pretty on topic with what we're talking about with using social media. So I think it was on point for everyone in this particular point in history with pandemic and people just still trying to grow. And I wasn't really looking for faults. I was just looking at the positives that I guess that I could highlight. So those were some of the main things. He had amazing vocal variety and stupendous body language because he moved all over the place, and it was just a wonderful speech. Thank you.
Thank you, Gina. Kathy?
Well, I sort of wished you would have chosen me first after all of these incredible evaluators already went. I have to say I cheated a little bit. I was able to see, I thought it was an amazing speech. I did see this one where he was already evaluated. This gentleman had already evaluated him. So it's just a little thing, but it stays in my brain for some reason. And he was saying now how he turned to the right for the past when he was talking about the past. It's just a little movement. Maybe you didn't even notice it, but he moved to the right when he spoke about the past. When he talked about the future, he moved his head to the left. Very minute move, but I thought that was interesting. And I think that the message that he had going all the way back. Okay, I'm also the generation where you see that projector and you hear that flutter, and then all of a sudden you see a little smoke coming out. He did really well. He did a picture. It was like painting pictures. If you're auditory or if you're visual, whatever, or hearing, auditory, yeah. For all the learners, you know, he made that speech for everyone. Madam General Evaluator.
Thank you, Kathy. Alicia.
Thank you, Pilar. I thought it was such an excellent speech, so well presented. He was captivating. He held our attention. He was so comfortable in front of the camera, so animated. His facial expressions connected to what he was saying. Oh, excellent use of body language. And the voice fluctuation, like I said, is excellent. I'm not sure if it was just me, but I felt he stumbled over one word or kind of stuttered over it. And that was, if I had to say something, that would probably be the only thing. But in the big scheme of things, so well done. Excellent. Excellent.
Thank you, Alicia.
Thank you, Pilar.
Thank you. Martha, I will ask you for the time. Are we have a time to continue with the evaluation?
I think we do.
Okay, so I will ask Bob.
All right. So I had the opportunity to watch other champions, worldwide champions, Toastmasters, and that's why I will be having a different evaluation than all of you. So I'm not sure if you've watched the 2014 champion, like Toastmaster champion speech for if I'm not mistaken, the name is Dhananjaya. So for example, I kept watching the speech, like I watched the speech more than 100 times. And then I was asking a question. The speech that I just watched is great. I couldn't find anything that was concerning, at least in terms of technicality. You have an example, you have a story, you have the event were well selected. We have a good variety of words, and I mean everything is perfect. And then I was like, after the speech, I didn't feel the urge, or I didn't have that feeling like I wanted to watch it again. And I was like, why is that? So it's because, for me, the way I see it is the pace. It was, I believe, because he practiced the speech many times, that he didn't notice that he was actually speaking so fast that we didn't give it time for people to absorb and get into the game. Like if you, for example, you compare it to the 2014 speech, at the end, you would like it because he has pauses all over throughout the speech. So people would go, he invites the audience to kind of think, and then he continues, like it's in a subtle way. So that's my only concern is the speed and the fact that he doesn't have too many pauses. It's a very condensed speech.
Thank you, Bob. And as I see in my list, Ankit, please.
Yeah, I agree with most of the people here that he had a really good speech, and he really took me back to the days when I was in like middle or high school, where you had the projector running and there was always some issue or another with it. And he did a really good job of varying his voice, moving forward and backward to capture our attention. And he had a story that really drew us in. It was, you felt like you were right there in his shoes. So I thought that the champion had a really good speech, and I really couldn't think of anything that I would tell him to improve on.
Thank you, Ankit. And I see in my list the last person. I would love to hear from you, Marta.
Thank you, Pilar. It's a very, very good speech. And for me, it's very, very motivational. ¿Cómo se dice?
Motivational.
Motivational. Very motivational, but because sometimes I want to have ideas for make something and say, I don't know, maybe not working, maybe, but it's really, really when he say is the result is the try make not working. It's okay, not working, but you try. If you not try, you never know if it's good or not good. And I really, really love the speech. Thank you.
Thank you, Marta. And I don't see any other name in my list. Kathy?
Victoria.
Victoria. She's
Mr.
Victoria.
the Master Cat.
Miss Victoria.
Yeah, Mr. Mastercat, that's my son. So apparently I logged in under his name. I didn't even realize it. But
oh, okay.
I agree with everybody. The speech was very engaging, and I liked how the speaker was leaning towards the camera to get closer to us. And at some point, the only thing that I would suggest, especially now, like since he was so close, it felt like he was with us. It felt like he needed a mask on, you know, but that was just a joke. But I did agree with the other comment that, yes, the speech seemed to be rehearsed a lot, which is expected for a speech that is done professionally. If it was done from the stage, it would not be as obvious, I believe, because we would not be so close, so you couldn't see his facial expression, which was overdone. But however, you know, for the time being, and that it had to be done on camera, and he did mention that, you know, we are using the resources that are provided right now, and as a, you know, he didn't stop the Toastmasters not to do the contest. The speech was prepared for the contest off the stage, and it wouldn't seem as, I guess, rehearsed if it was done from the stage. So I agree that maybe if, you know, taken into consideration that people will be too close and give people the time to react to what he was saying, and maybe slow it down a little bit would be easier to process.
Thank you, Victoria. And if I haven't missing anybody, I will ask, did I miss anybody? I don't see the images on my phone. I think we went through all of you.
So now we just need to get the timers for everybody?
Yeah, I will ask for the timer, please.
Okay. George, 1 minute. Sandy, 53 seconds. Oscar, 38 seconds. Gina, 1 minute 40 seconds. Kathy, 1 minute 25 seconds. Alicia, 51 seconds. Bob, 2 minutes 15 seconds. Ankit, 56 seconds. Victoria, 1 minute 59 seconds. And Marta, I hope is last the 1 minute.
Thank you, Marta. And now I will ask Alicia for the accountant and grammarian report.
Thank you, Pilar. Yes. So for the Toastmaster Minute, I noticed that Sandy used the word connection, which is our word of the day. So that was an excellent way of combining the word of the day into her minute. Regarding George and his speech titled Social Media, let's see. George is really good at not using the ahs and ums, and his grammar is pretty good. So I felt there was great animation in his voice as he was trying to convince us the importance of using social media to get members to the group. One thing I caught was George began a statement stating people like, but he did not complete it. He went on to another thought. That was probably the one thing that I noticed in his speech, but George is always, and I pay particular attention for an George. So, okay, and then table topics. George did use, he was the first person, and he used, you know, a bit. I feel horrible saying this because I'm the master of the ums and the, you know, filler words. You kind of stuttered over I a few times during table topics. Pilar, I think you used or about 5 times, and you kind of used the you know. Also, I think it was Oscar, because I wrote your name. Oscar is usually another very good one. I pay attention. You guys are so good at this. Oscar just stumbled or stuttered over they, maybe just once. Victoria, I caught 3 ums. Bob, I caught about 5 ums as well. You guys are really good. Gina, I got about 2 ums and 2 smacks. And I feel horrible because I'm master of smacking. And Ankit, I got about an or 2 from you. And that's about it. That concludes my report, grammarian report. Back to Pilar.
Thank you, Alicia. And lastly, I will give my view on the meeting, the overall view. And I will say we start on time, and I almost forgot that I need to start the meeting. And the word of the day was connection, and I feel like connection was pretty good feeling in this meeting. I feel that we were all connected, and the table topics and the speeches were all around that. And we received information about the info and contest date. We welcomed the visitors and guests. We presented the functionaries, and I will address this. I think it was really good opportunity when the presentation of the video was given to us. I think that is really good practice in having the opportunity to everybody give evaluation, a minute of evaluation, even though it's got a little bit long. It's depend on the amount of participants. But I feel that that was excellent for everybody to be participated on the meeting. And I just finished with this, victory is on the try. I think that the message from the last speech just touched everybody. So overall, great speech, great meeting, and I will give it back to Kathy.
Thank you very much, Pilar. Great evaluation. We are coming up. Can everybody, we are actually technically over, so I apologize for that. However, if you would, send me the vote for best evaluator, if you would, please. I like the polls better. This is this is interesting. Okay. Everybody's voted? Thumbs up? Okay. Well, I can say our winner for best speaker is Mike Carr. Winner for our best okay, wait just a sec. I have to write this. Mike Carr. I'll write and tell him that. Share with him that news. And if you would please, for best table topics, a little bit of a drum roll here, please, is our very own George Hazard. And for our best evaluator, drum roll, please. And this is going to go to Oscar Kalstadt. I want to thank everybody. Is there anything I'm forgetting? Oh, I do want to say, last night in the email I sent to everyone, I put in there a member survey, and also I downloaded it today also. Once again, it's at the very top. There's a member profile and a member interest survey. I would so appreciate if you all would fill that out for us, and bless you, Martha, and and let us know what you need from us, because this is why we're all here together. We want to learn, we want to grow together, and just like a victory is not in the result, it is in the try. Thank you, Gina, for putting that out there. And so we want to have this for everyone. So if you would, you can send those in to us. You don't have to put your name on it if you don't want to, or you can keep it and just say in a chat or write to us what you would need out of us to make this experience, this club, perfect for you. Make you want to go onto social media and celebrate us, and or bring in friends and neighbors, family for a visit, and to eventually join us, because that's what it's all about, is growth and learning for us as individuals. And that's why we're here. Okay, is there anything that I need to add? Sandy, George, And we're all good. Oscar? Yes, sir.
Well, you know, I want the survival of all these clubs, and you know, I'm part of the 2 Disney clubs and also the Toast Celebration, and I just encourage you to come and visit our clubs and help us. One of the exciting things that the Celebration Speakeasy Club, you know, is a struggling club at Disney, but we did have a meeting. We are going to have contests. We also have a youth program going, and Oren next week is going to talk about connecting with the Rotary Club. I think there's opportunity, but we need your help to keep us alive. So anything you could do to help us, maybe with these contests, with the Rotary Club, with the Kids Club, and that will be really exciting. I'd love that. So the youth is on September 25th is we're going to meet. So at 6 p.m. with the kids. Anyway, thank you.
Oscar, if you would, you have the email addresses of all of us. If you would, send that notice out so we can put that on our calendar, okay?
Okay.
And we're going to be talking, myself and Sandy, and George, Oscar, you're an officer. Pilar, if you want to stay also. We're going to be talking about that very thing about contests and how, you know, perhaps we can join clubs. Is there anyone here that right now at this very moment would like to join one of the contests? Evaluation, humor, or international speech? Oscar?
I'll join all of them.
Okay, excellent. Sandy?
I'll do all of them.
Oh my goodness. Okay, we are having a contest. Pilar?
Pilar, all of them.
All of them?
Not all of them, just not all of them.
I'll do all of them, Pilar. Come on.
I haven't practiced humorous. No.
You're funny. You can do it.
Oh, yes, do it.
No, just the international.
Do something about Brazil.
Just
that could be funny. That could be funny about Brazil.
Okay, we're short on time here. Thank you. Okay, so we have Oscar that's going to be doing all 3. Sandy DePrima will be doing all 3. Pilar's international speaker, unless
all
somebody
3
gets behind the lines and talks her or hypnotizes her into going for all 3. Alicia.
Yes, Kathy.
Contest.
I'm not sure if I'm ready for a contest.
Well,
you're ready. It's only in the club. You don't have to go to
Just
try.
This club only?
Yes,
yeah.
Just try.
This club only.
Oh, here's Pilar saying, just try.
Now, if you win, you're going to go all the way to Paris or something. So
yes.
Okay.
It takes a little more doing than that to go to Paris.
Kathy, but I would need more information and how to get prepared.
I will send you all the information. We have a new book for the speech contest rules, and I will be sending that out today. I am
George knows how to help.
I'm sorry?
Her mentor knows how to help.
Okay.
Okay. Gina, are you? No contest? Okay.
Now, when is it?
We actually have
out of the loop a little bit.
The first contest, the evaluation contest, is going to be the 3rd of October.
Is that a Saturday? I'm guessing it's all Saturdays.
Yeah.
It's just
Yes,
Saturday.
The first Saturday of each month and through December.
You would just be a brilliant evaluator.
You would.
I'm not putting pressure on you. I know your plate is so full, but after listening to you today, I said, oh
yes.
my goodness.
Yes. Gina,
brilliant.
Go Gina, go Gina, go Gina, go Gina, go Gina, go Gina, go Gina.
So no pressure, obviously.
Not at all.
Okay.
What is it? I'm sorry, October 3rd? Is that what you said?
No, yes, ma'am. October 3rd. And all you have to do is show up looking beautiful the way you do. And because everything is virtual. I will say that all contests are virtual. It will go along the same rules. We are looking for judges also in this matter. I don't know 100% of the rules. Sandy can tell you better. But that's one of the things we're going to be discussing. So since I'm in the role that I am, I think I should really know more than what I do right now. And so we will be sending you out all the information. And I think we just lost Alicia. Oh no, there she is. We're missing someone. George, okay.
Edith.
Okay, so I'm going to, in respectful of your time, I'm going to let you all go. Officers, if you can stay for just a few minutes, we need to adjourn this meeting. Thank you, Oscar. Thank you all. And
Thank
if you, and I will send out all the contest rules, et cetera, like I said. Thank you all very, very much. Had a great meeting. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye, Gina. Thank you.
Bye, Gina.
Victoria, good